Yo, this is Marlon from BassJackers and you're watching BPM Radio Australia.
Shit cracking.
So we're here today with Marlon from BassJackers. Marlon, thank you very much for joining us on BPM Radio Australia.
Thanks for having me here.
How was your flight in from Perth? You were telling me that you've just arrived from Perth?
Arrived last night. We left straight after Martin Garrix's set at Goodlife, and we got in at 12 and got some nice rest because the last few days were pretty hectic with the festivals, and flew in straight from Europe, straight to the festival, and it was pretty intense. So got some rest now, and I'm excited to have some days off in Melbourne.
And is this your first time coming to Australia?
It's actually the third time in Australia. Like a few years ago we did our first club tour. Then the year after we did another club tour. And then I think we didn't do Australia for like 1 year. And now it's our first festival tour. So that is pretty exciting, I have to say.
And how would you say that Australia is like playing in Australia compared to playing anywhere else in the world?
I gotta say, Australia is different. It's very it seems very isolated from the rest of the world, and there's a whole unique scene going on. The people are very enthusiastic. The crowd so far have been crazy, and it's a really fun place to play. So we're happy to be back.
And and how have your gigs been so far at Future Music Festival?
Really good. Yeah, it's an honor to play at this festival. You know, there's all these big artists, the lineup is insane. It's all the big DJs are there, some pretty big pop artists, rock bands, so it's an honor to be part of that. And our stage has been really fun. We're sharing the stage with Danik, Dairo, Artie, Chucky. So yeah, the gigs have been really good so far, yeah.
And for the people that are going to come to the show in Sydney and in Melbourne later on this week, what can they expect from your set?
Well, what they can expect from our set is, of course, we play a lot of our own productions. Yeah. We have a lot of new stuff, made some special edits, mashups, to just keep it fresh. It's gonna be a lot of energy, of course, and a lot of bass, because we're BassJackers, right? So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Now, let's take it all the way back to the start. What was your first influence with music in your life?
My first influence was probably my dad always used to be a drummer and percussionist, so I was always hitting the drums when I was a little kid. Later on, I started to play a bit of piano, but I wasn't ready for that, for the lessons, and it was too much homework, so I quit it, which is a shame because it's an exceptional skill to be able to play piano. And I was always a clubber, listening to dance music, because in Holland you grew up with dance music.
Cool.
And later on I started DJing, and my buddy was producing, and we joined together as BassJackers, and that's how it all started for us.
And what do you guys like when you work in the studio? Do you go in with any ideas of what you want to do, or do you just go in there and just let inspiration take its course?
BassJackers, we work like this. It's Ralph is the producing half, and I'm always on tour, the touring half. He's gonna make some new sketches, some new ideas. He gets his inspiration from basically anywhere. And when I'm back in Holland, I'll join him in the studio, and we try to wrap up the tracks together. Because I bring in more the DJ side of the productions, because I'm more focused on what's gonna work on the dance floor and what the crowd wants, versus Ralph wants it to be musically correct and nice arrangement, and yeah, he considers all the other parts. So what comes together is our end product.
Well, it sounds to me like you guys complement each other really well in that aspect of things.
I think that's exactly the case. We've been friends forever, but we're also opposites. I'm more the performing, party, outgoing, maybe a little bit crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
And he just likes to be in the studio. He's more calm, and we're opposites, and it works for us.
Opposites attract.
They attract. Yeah, I guess they do. Well, so attracted to Ralph.
Well, tell us about your latest track, Battle. Tell us about how that came about.
Battle is a collaboration with Jordy Das. It was just some random midday in the week, and Jordy lives really close to us. And we dropped by in the studio and we just started working on some music, and a few hours later we had Battle. Of course we had to do some tweaking afterwards, testing, and we had 10 versions. And the final version, we're really satisfied with, and Well, it goes down really well at all the clubs and festivals, so yeah.
And have you got any other tracks that you're working on at the moment that you can possibly tell us about?
Actually, we have some tracks, but I don't want to tell anything about it yet.
Yeah.
We are playing them in our sets,
Yeah.
so if you're going to check out our set at Future Music, you will definitely hear them, but more on that soon. Believe me, they're big, like they go off.
Do you guys have any pre-gig rituals before you get up on stage?
I always do like 10 push-ups. No, I'm bullshit. Usually I just try to be there a little bit early, like half an hour early, see what the DJ before he was doing, try to pick up the vibe, like try to already read the crowd a little bit. Usually I don't even know what the first track is gonna be until 5 minutes before I start, and then I just go with it.
And what about when you played your first gig? What was that like? And where was it?
My first ever gig? You mean BassJackers or first ever
No, first
me DJing for a crowd?
you DJing for a crowd.
That was probably in Rotterdam in 2006, and there were like 10 people. I was playing with vinyl. I was playing more like minimal techno at the time,
Yeah, yeah.
and I wanted to play my first record on vinyl, but I couldn't get the needle on it because I was so nervous. Like my hands were shaking, so I basically just threw the needle on the record and rewinded until the beginning. Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty exciting. That was my first show ever, playing for 10 people.
You still get nervous now when you just before you get up there on stage?
I wouldn't call it nervous anymore. It's more like this excitement goes on. Like you feel it through all your body, and especially like, for example, the first time we had to play at the main stage at EDC Vegas, which were like 60,000 people, and we were playing after Alesso, and I took a little sneak peek at the crowd, and well, maybe then the nerves started a little bit, like the blood started flowing and all. But it's excitement. It keeps you pumped, it's adrenaline, and it's fun.
And just on that, what about after a gig? What is there anything that you like to do to come down from that adrenaline and just sort of relax?
Yeah, you're like after a show, you're like so pumped. You just, yeah, you feel it. You feel it through all your body, and you just need like usually I take a little bit like time off in the dressing room, just like try to recap a little bit and just enjoy the moment, because that's the best feeling ever.
Yeah, and what do you like to do in your private time? What do you like to do other than music?
Well, lately there hasn't been a lot of private time, but yeah, I like sports. Like we play a little football, and well, we like to try to surf. I still suck at it, but
yeah, a bit of surfing.
well, I heard there's a lot of surfing here, so maybe you can check it out. But yeah, basically spending time with friends if possible. Just regular stuff.
What about if you weren't DJing and producing and have the wonderful career that you have at the moment? What do you think that you'd be doing?
That's a good one, because me and Ralph were both in college when we started BassJackers, and he just finished his master's in financial management, and I was finishing up my master's in international business. I dropped out, he finished it, and I would probably work at some big corporation somewhere in the world, because I always wanted to travel. Yeah, I would probably be a suit.
Probably in a suit.
Yeah. But now I'm living the dream, and I wouldn't want to do anything else.
And do you have any advice for up-and-coming DJs and producers that aspire to be like you?
Follow your dreams, do it because you love it, try to have fun with it, and well, never give up. I mean, that's the only way, I guess.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
have to love it to do it,
What would you say is the most challenging part about being on tour?
The travel schedules can get really rough, so you have to be good at traveling. I'm really happy that I'm really good at sleeping on airplanes. Like I don't even see the takeoff, I'm just out, and when we land I wake up, I'm like, oh, we're there yet. So that's my advantage, but the traveling is probably the roughest part. Yeah.
Okay, so finally, what does BassJackers have planned for 2014?
What we have planned is what we want to do like every year is just take everything to another level. So we want to do better productions, bigger shows, like play everywhere. We want to play for all our fans, so we want to play everywhere in the world. And we've been doing that for a few years now, and we're taking it to another level every year and just keep it going.
Well, Marlon, thank you very much for joining us on BPM Radio Australia.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Marlon from BassJackers.